So, the great fear of any Dark World card is this one, Dark Ruler No More. This is probably the greatest fear of any Dark World player, but you can counter that not so easily, but it is possible, and I show you how to counter this. So first you need your obvious board. So most of the time your end board looks like that. You have your Grapher Fusion, you have not den nächsten muss das an, Appaloosa, you have your Grapher Fusion, you have number 38, one IP, and for the last card it's gonna be our key card, number 22, Zombie Stein. Here it is, a little bit hard to fit at the picture. So this is most of the time your usual end board. You end up at Dark World or slightly different. Anyway, if your opponent activates now Dark World No More, you can't do anything. Everything is negated because you can't react to this card with monster effects. But there's a very actually easy way to counter Dark World No More. You need just one other card. And that's the fusion card for the Grapher Fusion. You set that. So let's say it's turn 1. All right, it's turn 1. You build your board up and you set the Grapher Fusion card face down. Then it's your opponent's turn, and your opponent drops Dark Ruler No More. You may think, oh fuck, you know, now it's over. But here's the thing. You can't react to Dark Ruler No More with monster effects, but you can react to Dark Ruler No More with trap or spell effects. So, and this is a quick spell. You activate the Dark World Fusion, and you chain to the Dark World Fusion number 22, Zombie Stein. You change Zombie Stein into defense, and then you can target one face-up card on your opponent's side of the field and negate that. And then you target Dark Ruler No More, and then Dark Ruler No More is actually negated because you chained on Dark Ruler No More first a spell card, and on your spell card you chained Zombie Stein, and Zombie Stein's effect says negate one open card on your opponent's side of the field if you switch it to defense mode, and this is then Dark Ruler No More. That's how easy you can defend against Dark Ruler No More. You even don't need a full board. Okay, alright, this was just for example, it's enough if you have those 3 cards, your Grapher Fusion, this and that, and he plays that. Maybe he doesn't want you to activate the Grapher Fusion's effect. And same thing, defense, target Dark Ruler No More, and it's negated. Just like that. So the big fear is countered. Just like that. So another thing, another important thing for any Dark World player, you have to get the cards. Another thing is try that you never get silver into the grave other than discarding silver. Okay, so never and at least if it's not any other way to summon a link monster or whatever, but try to never use silver as a link material or as a Xyz material or whatever from the field. Okay, not from the field. This is very bad because once he gets from the fields to the graveyard, he's dead. You know, you basically can't get him back that easily. Yeah. It is what it is. So you're not discarding silver, very nice, but don't get it from the field to the grave because that's very bad. It's one of your key cards, one of your win conditions is actually silver. Then another thing which some people always forget. Let's say you have silver, all right, and you wanna special summon Rainbow from the grave. Alright, you do that, give silver back to the hand, then you have Rainbow. And some people then go immediately into Xyz plays or into link plays or whatever. But please, if you have Grapha in the grave, send Rainbow back to your hand by special summoning Grapha. Alright? Always try to get as much cards back to your hand as possible, because you need them, and Rainbow's discard effect is just way too good to not use it again, because nothing is once per turn. Alright, another thing, the usual, well, I wouldn't say the usual procedure, but the most effective procedure to build your endboard you've seen before is you first try to get any way possible to your Coach King. Okay, this is a very important card. Get your Coach King. This is most of the time the most important thing you try to do if you see it is somehow possible to do. Okay, if you start with only level 4s on your start hand, or if you have a really bad start and you can't go into Coach King, but you definitely should go, if possible, first into Coach King. Then, of course, Coach King, special summon that, and after Coach King, the next card you should special summon from the extra deck, I always talk about the extra deck, should be the SiCaTra, YuGiOh-Community, to draw 4. This should be your next card. After that, it really depends. If you can summon first your Grapha Fusion, alright, then of course you can first summon your Grapha Fusion and then go into Coach King, alright? But he's the most important out of the Dark World Fusion, okay? If you instantly can make the fusion, it's also okay. Then Grapha Fusion, of course. The next thing would then be the Appaloosa, by using, of course, YuGiOh and the Coach King to get Appaloosa. After that, you are already pretty much good set. You can go into number 38. And the last thing you want to do, if possible, if still possible, is then number 22 Zombie Style. Oh, yes. And then into your IP. Yeah, but that's not possible that way, so that's possible. Alright. So basically first do your link plays before you do your Xyz plays. Always do the Xyz plays at last, because once your level 8s are detached to that, they are no longer in the grave and you can no longer special summon it over and over again with Silver sending back to hand and Rainbow sending back to hand and so on and so on. You know what I mean. And if you link summon them, they are back in the grave and you can special summon them back from the grave, because nothing is once per turn. So always first link summon, and the last thing you do is Xyz summon. The last thing. And of course, let's do that whenever it's possible. Another nice combo I personally very love, and maybe it helps you too, is a 3-card extra deck combo with Dingirso. Okay, if he gets special summoned, you can send 1 card from your opponent to the grave. Not the Dingirso does not target, so very nice. Then you can rank up on Dingirso with number 84, the Pain Gainer, because it says you can rank up on a Dark Xyz monster with the rank 8, 9 and 10, and Dingirso is Dark rank 8, so rank up on that. Can activate its effect, detach 1, and all monsters get destroyed, which has lesser defense than the Pain Gainer, and Pain Gainer gains defense equal to the combined ranks of Xyz materials on your field. So he is always, if he's the only Xyz monster on the field, he is always 2200 defense, because it's a rank 11. And you can rank up on number 84 with number 77 Sins. So why do I love that? Well, first, it's very awesome to do that. And second, you summon Dingirso. So your opponent thinks that's all what you do. he, for example, activates impermanence on Ningirsu. So then he thinks, well, that's it, you know, Ningirsu is dead, doesn't do anything. Well, but then you just rank up on number 84, Penguin. And that has an effect again. So you can activate this effect. Maybe here's another impermanence. Then that's no problem for you. You rank up on number 77. So, and this becomes, because it's also Fiend, Unterweltler Fiend, it also gets the 300 decay boost from the field spell. So most of the time, actually, I win games through this combination only. These two, because he has 4,300 and he has 3,500. And if you have burned him already with Coach King or any other monster or whatever, or you just normal summon Chenta or whatever, that's enough, you know, that's almost 8,000 damage. And with Penguin you can destroy all his monsters. With Ningirsu any other problematic card. And he allows you, not in the same turn it was special summoned through ranking up, but in the next turn you can detach 2 materials and you can banish all special summoned monsters from your opponent. So this is very very evil. I love this combo because nobody does really expect that. They're all dog, so, and he's even Fiend, so just maybe you try it out. Maybe you find it helpful. And for the win condition cards, the win condition cards is actually, yeah, are your silvers. These are the most important cards actually. Your silvers, and this is what I want to play, and this is most of the time my win condition, is the Nico-Main King. Nico-Main King says if he gets discarded by opponent's card effect, the end phase of this turn begins. So yes, that's very evil. The plan is very simple. You have the Graph Fusion on the field. Your opponent activates any effect. It doesn't matter. Monster effect, spell effect, whatever. You chain Graph, discard Nico-Main King, and it's the end phase. You know, your opponent, it's very, very evil move. Sometimes I'm not proud of it if I do that, but it is what it is, you know. Then it's end phase and it's your turn again, and he has nothing, and you just attack and it's game. So Nico-Main King is basically your win condition, and if I have the opportunity to get an early Graph Fusion, I draw as long as I draw one Nico-Main King and then pass turn. And then just waits until he activates anything, and then I chain Graph Nico-Main King, and it's my turn again. Then I build up my board, and yeah, it's done, you know. Can't do anything. Some say Nibiru is a problem. Nibiru is a problem if Nibiru drops at the right time. But if your opponent activates Nibiru after you have summoned the Graph Fusion, then Nibiru is no problem. You just negate Nibiru. The best time to activate Nibiru is when you have specialed your Coach King. Alright? When the Coach King is specialed and then he activates Nibiru and you have no Graph Fusion on the field, that's probably the best time to do that. As soon as the Graph Fusion is on the field, Nibiru is no longer a problem. In combination with infinite impermanence, then it's a problem. Okay, if he first imperms your Graph and you negate imperm and then he activates Nibiru, that's, well, that can always happen, of course. Well, that's the game. Right, and one last thing is a helpful tip, hopefully. Just want to help a bit. Also try to get your archives as soon as possible on your field, because it helps a lot. You can discard a lot more cards through it, and you also can draw 2 cards from it. So it benefits you in a lot of ways. So always try to get it as soon as possible on the field if you can afford it, you know. If you are in a very bad game state, you probably should not search the archives through Snow's effect. Yeah, so much to that. The deck profile is already on my channel, so I won't go through the cards again. I hope it helps you a bit. Hopefully, maybe you have also discovered some nice tricks with this deck. Please let me know if you have any. Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.